of electricity. What? Yeah, how much is a kilowatt of electricity? I told her, well, probably like 1 to 3 pesos. Okay, how much is a piece of land? What? They don't even ask you, how are you? Where are you from? What? They go straight to business.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't waste a minute, not a minute, a second. I swear God, well, I shouldn't swear, but I tell you, they didn't want to waste one single minute in common courtesy. Like if you go pick up a guy from Germany, the US, Canada, etc., they say, "Hi, Mikey, Mitch, how are you? How is the weather? What do you do for fun? How is the family?" They ask you 20 minutes of friendly questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, this lady said, "Hello, you're Edgardo. Yes, yes, you're Mary." It was not Mary, but let's call her Mary. So, yeah, okay, what is the price of the kilowatt? What is the price of the land? How many people do you hire? Do they have like if I was in a job interview, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
one after another, after another, after another, I got annoyed because I thought, well, this is an utilitarian conversation or what? Not even the common courtesy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was my experience, and it was very bad feeling.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know what you think about that, but that was my experience, Mickey.
Well, it's how can I say choque?
Cultural shock. Actually, that's the
Yeah,
correct.
cultural shock. For them that that behaviors could be the most normal thing in the world, but for us is weird, and for them ask them a lot of things. A personal thing could be the weirdest thing in the world, but for us it's just for make friends or trusting someone. It's
That's
pretty normal. Hmm.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, they they may have thought of me. Look at this Mexican guy. He's asking us personal questions. He wants to invade our privacy, right?
Uh-huh. For example, I remember there is one influencer, a Korean influencer, that it names Chingu Amiga, which
Right.
every day she's actually living in Mexico. Every day she sees cultural shocks. Then, oh, the weirdest thing that Mexico happened, and it are things that are, for us is pretty normal, but for them it's okay. In Korea, this doesn't happen at all, but in Korea happens this. But what's happening in this world? It's too different. Oh, help me.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. On the other hand, let me share something with you. I had two ladies who were Mexican who studied German here in the school in top class. Their husbands were and are German. They are managers in Scheffler, a German company here in Castro del Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me that they had to go to China with their husbands. One of them, not both of them, but one of them had to go to China with her husband because the German company Scheffler had a factory in China, in Guangzhou. It's a city, like the second largest one after Beijing. And they told me that they had to build, they said, well, we're going to go back to China. Yeah, remember that 2 months ago they started to build a huge project to build a bridge? Yeah, but it was a huge bridge. Well, then when they got to China, the bridge was completely finished. Huge, incredibly monster bridge. They finished it in less than 2 months. That tells you about the effectiveness and efficiency of the people. An immense bridge. And look, when you go out to Leon, you see all the uh, construction works they have over there. It's been like 6 months
Yeah.
just to pave the highway.
Mm-hmm.
6 months. I think it's more, 6 or more, but I don't think it's less than 6 months. So that tells you about the culture too, right? They go straight to work, go to work, 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 work. So they're very efficient, even in their works, in their commerce, in their trades, in their conversations, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what Mitch says is absolutely true, right? The different culture leads to different results. But is there a balance, Mickey?
I think that there must be a balance because mm, we are persons. We think, we feel, and I think that is not healed, healed, sano,
Healthy.
healthy. Yeah, healthy. Yeah, I think that is not healthy to only work, work, and work because we are not machines, and there must be a balance. I think.
Okay, very good. I totally agree. What do you think about this comment, Mitch? Should there be a balance between work and leisure? Because these
Of
people
course,
from China just seem to be working and working and working and no leisure. What do you think about that?
for example, in some Asian, especially China, there are the grade of suicides, or suicidios,
Suicides,
uh,
yes.
are too high comparing with other countries, which I don't know has an schedule or just 8 hours or less, because some of them even works 25 hours per day, and biologically we are not made to work that hard. We can't be as sit down too much hours because our body starts to uh, descomponerse,
To rot,
to rot,
Mhm.
to wreck.
or
Okay.
make a lot of physic strength. Mm, we
Yeah, that's
start
true.
to not work. Uh, it's not healthy. That's the point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely true, absolutely true. But when it comes to taking the best of each culture, we can say, well, we can take the best culture from the best aspects of the Chinese culture, the best aspects from the Mexican culture, the best aspects from the American culture, because every culture has something positive, universally speaking, right? So we can be very hardworking as the Chinese and very friendly as the Latins and very business oriented as the Americans and very disciplined as the Germans and have a healthy life. Can we not? In other
Yeah.
words, why don't we take the best of each culture, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Do you think that the Chinese are good traders, good commercemen, good businessmen?
Yeah. Well, that's why there exist a lot of items from China because they have. Well, I know that some items cross the borders uh, illegally, but something is true, and is that China is one of the most important exporters from
Exporters and importers or traders in general, right?
traders, yeah, in the world.
Okay, what do you know about that idea, which may be true or not, that the Chinese people build the machines while they are transporting them to the destination country? So they say, "I'm gonna sell refrigerators to Mexico or motorcycles to Cuba." Well, I will be building them in the transportation deck of the ship, in the deck of the ship, or in the they build a warehouse or they build a little factory inside the ship. Is that true or is exaggerated? What do you know about that, guys? Mitch, Mickey.
Mm,
I don't get it.
In other words, is it true that the Chinese build many items while in the items while
mhm.
transporting them? Let's say
And
I
Actually, I
want,
don't know.
but
could
have you
be.
heard that? Could be. What do you think? Have you heard
Uh,
that?
yeah, I hear some of them because I just hear some of it, but I don't know how can it work.
What do you hear, Mitch?
That they bring the corporation bring them the pieces, and while they're working in the ships or something like that.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. maybe an exaggeration may be true, but when they get to Mexico, they are all assembled. So
Mhm.
people state that the Chinese people and maybe the Asians in general, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Vietnamese, they assemble the parts while they are transporting them to the destination country. The idea at the end is that they want to be efficient, time efficient. And I believe that in Mexico we're just the opposite. But not all the people. Younger generations, like your generation, is becoming very, very effective and very, very efficient, without losing this people flavor that we have as Latins.
Hmm.
You know, in the U.S., people appreciate the Mexicans because we have this nice attitude of having fun for many, many things. We enjoy the family, we enjoy the food, we enjoy the weather, we enjoy the hobbies. We seem to be happy all the time, and that's what American people tell us. Um, and maybe we say the same about the Cubans, except that the Cubans don't have as many resources as we do. So the question is, how can we acquire the best trading practices of the Chinese? How can we acquire those?
Mm, uh, we need to start looking what they do or what they've done, and probably don't copy all the things or all the or completely the way how they doing, but learn of the good things. I think that we can get good things from everything, and it is necessary to learn the good things and not the bad things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, for example, the Americans have lots of positive things. They have research centers. They have great technology. However, I mean, some people don't always learn the best things, right? Some people
Hmm.
say, learn. For example, I have a cousin who learns all the bad words the Americans have,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
He knows how to curse, how to swear, and I say, I tell him, "Look, you could learn something better from the Americans, not just how to swear, right?" Okay. What would you do? What would you look at if you had to learn from the Chinese, Mitch? Mickey suggests that we have to look at what they do. Okay. What would you look at? How would you learn from the Chinese the positive things, not the bad things? How would we do that?
Positive thing.
Yeah, let's say
Uh,
that they are productive, that they are
mhm.
effective and efficient, that they work in teams. They
Mm, yeah, but thinking there are all bad things that are back of that. I don't know if I consider that a positive thing. Positive thing. Mm, muy
well,
fuerte.
let me ask you a question to help you solve to help you answer the question. Do you see most products in the world are from Chinese origin?
Yeah.
Yep, because for their exploitation and there because there's too much of quantity of people.
Yeah, well, they have lots of people, but for example, they have 1 billion people, 1 million people, right? I think. What's the population of China, guys? Do you know?
I think that 1 billion,
1 billion people, right?
around one
One
billion people.
billion people, right? 1 billion people, and that is 10 times more than we, don't we? Is it not true? We're 155 million people, right?
Well, I found here that China has 1.402 miles of millions. Well, almost 1.5 billion people.
1.5 1.5 billion people.
Wow.
I want to convert this to numbers, and that is this is one 500 1,500 million,
Hmm.
right? And we have 125 million, right? So if you divide, I want to get to the numbers. I want to get to the numbers. If we divide 1,500 into 125, how much do we get? How many times more people do the Chinese people have than we Mexicans?
Mm,
Divided by 125. It's gonna be more than 10, like 12 times more, right? I want to make my
12.
point. 12 times more, okay.
Mhm.
So um, Chinese have 12 times more people than Mexico.
And Mexico.
That's I'm gonna show you my point. And now please look up in internet the gross domestic product of both countries. And you will see what I mean by productivity. The gross domestic product, GDP, what's the GDP of China, what's the GDP of Mexico? Please.
Hmm.
GDP.
GDP, gross domestic product of China is what's the GDP of China? Gross GDP, gross domestic product. Like
China
produ-
has, sorry,
no, no, no. Go ahead, Mickey, please.
14.72 billions USD, billions of
14.2
dollars.
billions. Okay, China. What about Mexico?
In
14.22.
Mexico. Yeah. Okay.
14.22. 14 or
Mm-hmm.
40?
14.
14.
Yeah.
What about
And
Mexico, please?
Mexico. 1 million
One
USD.
1 billion.
1 billion.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell you what, I'm surprised. It's about the same proportion. I am impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have 12 people more, 12, I
Mhm.
mean, 12 times more people, it's normal that China has almost a bit more than 12 times more gross domestic product than Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, so tell you something, the productivity is about the same then.
Yeah, we're not so bad then.
And I thought very differently than this. I'm
Hmm.
surprised now because I thought the difference would be dramatically bigger than this. Okay, let's take a look at the USA. The US and maybe the US gross domestic product. What is it, please?
GDP,
GDP,
um, 20.94 billions dollars. 94.
20.94 billion.
Yeah.
Well, that is incredibly
Low.
high. Yeah, because it's higher than the Chinese, and they have one third of the population of the Chinese. They have 330 million, I think.
Yes.
It's impressive. Well, there you have the most productive nation in the world. Also, they are very smart. The Americans are very smart because I think they are the smartest people regarding commerce. They buy a lot from China. If not, just check the foreign debt, please. Foreign debt, US with China, US, China. And you will understand how much credit they have. They have a lot of credit, financial credit, because they owe a lot of money to China. The US is the largest debt in the world in the history.
Really?
Yeah,
Foreign
you just take or if not, just check. You can Google who has
paper.
which country has the largest foreign debt
What
in
means foreign
history?
debt in Spanish?
Deuda externa.
Deuda.
Ah,
Which country? Which one do you think has the largest foreign debt, Mitch, in the world?
China maybe or Russia?
Debt, deuda? Well, you will
USA.
USA.
Oh,
The USA has the largest foreign debt in the world in history. To whom? To China.
mm,
In other words, they buy a lot of things from China. They buy them cheap and sell them at a good price. That's why the gross domestic product is very high because they buy a lot from China and sell to countries like, well, like Mexico, Latin America, and the world. But they sell Chinese products.
Yeah.
And it is my, they are very smart. They are very smart. And I will tell you my opinion, but of course, don't think that I am the expert in international business or in at all, right?
Mhm.
But I have my perception that I discuss with my brothers, with my mother, with friends, with everyone, and some people agree, some people disagree. I think that the Americans are very strong because the US buys from China and sells to the world Chinese products. Like if you go to Home Depot, you go to Office Depot, you go to anywhere and you will see made in China. But
Yeah.
then people say, why don't you buy from China then? Well, because there is in the communication process, there is a mechanism which is very smart, in my opinion, of course, but believe me, I can be wrong,
Mhm.
that they tell you, hey, the Chinese are monsters. They create bad propaganda. That way you don't want to deal with the Chinese. They create the Chinese a bad name so you don't have to buy from them, right? Create or give a bad name, give a bad name or propaganda, bad propaganda to the Chinese so you don't have to deal with them. Only me, I mean, only the US. It's a political comment, probably, and probably is biased, not very objective.
Mhm.
Probably I have my personal inclinations, right? You give a bad name to the Chinese. It's like this. Mitch wants to buy sneakers, a good pair of sneakers, right? And the natural person to buy from is Mickey. But I tell Mitch, hey Mitch, don't buy from Mickey because Mickey goes to the gym a lot of time. He goes to the gym a lot of time, and that's not good. That's not reasonable. He whatever, right? And I convinced Mitch that you are not a good person because you go a lot of hours to the gym, or because Mickey is getting only 10s in the school. That's not alive. He should have 7 and do other things, right? I give you a bad name.
Yeah.
And so Mitch, buy the sneakers from me. And I go, hey Mickey, my friend, sell me a pair of sneakers, please. Oh yes, of
Mhm.
course, it's business, right? And I sell your sneakers to Mitch.
Hmm.
And the
Mhm.
normal thing is, but and people, your dad, my friend's gonna say, Mitch, but why don't you buy from Mickey directly? No, I don't like Mickey. He spends a lot of time in the gym. He's not a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am exaggerating, and of
Mhm.
course, I could be wrong, of course, but that's my opinion. And every person has the right to have a different opinion, and you may have a different opinion. But I think that the Americans are very brilliant, and they create a program through TV, through movies, through propaganda that gives the Chinese a bad name, bad reputation. And so you don't want to deal with the Chinese. No, the Chinese are bad people. They eat children, right? They eat them, or they throw fire from the mouth, whatever. And probably it's true. I'm not saying that is because I know that they have very how do you say this word, intolerant rules, very intolerant. They are very, yeah, they have things which are bad, which I personally don't like, but I think
Mhm.
they exaggerate something. It's like they do with the Mexicans, right? They picture the Mexicans as if you are standing in a nopal and you are just sleeping 10 hours a day, and we are all chubby with a big belly.
Yeah.
And so and if we're good to work, we're gonna be working on in the cuisine in the kitchen, and or not, you're not thinking of Mexicans as engineers, as designers, as anything, right?
Mhm.
So they create bad propaganda for every kind of person, but you still buy from China. You see, the largest international debt is from the US to the
To China.
Chinese.
Mhm.
And in the movies, you see that the Chinese are bad people. So, well, why do you sell Chinese goods, right? But that's only a complicated idea. The important thing here, which I would like to discuss with you guys, is How can we benefit from the good practices of the Americans, of the Chinese? Well, first of all, what do you think about this idea, Mitch, Mickey?
Mhm.
The example that I gave you with Mickey. Mickey, don't, Mitch, don't buy tennis shoes from Mickey. Buy from me.
Uh, well, yeah, I think that it's true. For example, there are big brands who shows like American culture or American people the like the greatest culture or the greatest people, and when you see the origin of the products, well, you can notice that are from China, and there are, I think, there are so many politics involved, but well, we can notice in the uh, largest foreign debt that is USA with China, and this for one reason, and it's because they, well, China, I think that is cheaper than other countries because they have a lot of people and they have more chances to increase the productivity of a specific product. So I think that China could be a great partner in business, and yeah, probably the USA shows like this kind of propaganda to avoid that other countries and negotiate with them to they have more market to expand.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I think. But I recommend that you discuss this idea with other specialists because
Yeah.
you are in the area of business.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch,
Thank
you like so many cultures that it would be a nice idea that you can discuss your ideas, your differences, and your likes and dislikes with specialists of the topic, right? I would suggest that if you have, for example, one practice that Chinese have, which is very controversial, is what is called reverse engineering. And I would like to ask you, Mitch, what you think of this.
Where is that?
They reverse engineering is that you see a jacket you see a jacket from an American actor, whoever that is. Tell me a name of a famous American actor,
you.
please.
George Clooney or Brad
George
Pitt.
Clooney. Okay, George Clooney. He's wearing this nice jacket. Well, you
Mhm.
know what the Chinese do? They say, "Oh, this movie was a hit because of the guy that was wearing this fantastic jacket." They go buy the jacket, take it to China, dismantle, disassemble the jacket, and copy the design, and
Mm.
start mass producing it with absolutely every product in the world. And they have no care for rights or copyrights or any of that.
Mhm.
And if there is a controversy, you just change or modify a little thing, just a small thing, to create a new product. And they say, well, the law says that it has to be identical. This is not identical. What do you think about this practice, Mitch?
Mm. Well, morally, it's bad because it's producing that the original authors lose money, but in the other
On the other
face of
hand,
the coin, um, people like can't cost that expensive products that that corporation give us. Opts or opta
opts or
opts
chooses.
to chooses the Chinese copy, even if the materials are not the best quality. They just want to apparent um,
Say that again. To what?
aparentar.
To pretend.
To pretend. Thank you. To pretend that they were in that kind of products just for not give more money because they don't have um, a lot of money than other persons. I can include myself in that. in the things, because, for example, a Chinese shop that name AliExpress give me some products that here could cost like 5 times more than I bought them. I don't know what bad or good morally could be that, but it's not something that I really dislike.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, I think talking about ethics or morals, it's a very important topic. Morals or ethics. Morals or ethics is important, always important, but it's different. It's different to include morals, I think. And of course, talking about morality and ethics is something that you always have to pass and discuss and share with the closest people to you. You discuss this with your parents, with your brothers, with your closest friends, because it's not an individual thing, it's a social thing. Morality is a social thing. So, my recommendation is that you discuss this with your parents always, or with your friends, or with your closest people, right? But is in my opinion is that to include morals in business business is um, is not the same as including morals in other aspects of life, or is it the same? In other words, is it the same to talk about is immoral to steal money? Of course, yes, it's immoral. Is immoral to not be respectful to older people? Yeah, it's immoral. Is it moral to things that are immoral to convince people of something which is bad for him or for the society? Yeah, that's immoral. But I don't know if it is as heavy to be immoral in those aspects as to be, well, it's immoral to photocopy books. Well, yeah, probably it's immoral, but if the guy who's producing the books is making millions and I am suffering to buy my books, it's not the same. Well, it's immoral to steal, yeah, but if the person is starving and the owner of the crops has 2,000 hectares of asparagus or of broccoli, and the other guy is starving. So, where is the boundary of morality? That's an important question, right? Where is the boundary or the limit, the border, the boundary of morality? That's a difficult question to answer. What is the boundary of morality? Actually, there was an old law that if you were starving, if you were hungry, you could eat from the first two rows of the crops. For example, a person is growing broccoli, right? And he
Hmm.
has 200 hectares. And I am from a poor family and I need to feed my children. I can take from the first or the second rows with no punishment and to feed my kids. That was an old law, right? So there are limits in the aspect of morality. That's, yeah, some people will say no, morality is not negotiable. You need to not buy one single corn in the cup for to eat to feed your family because I need that, even that cent, even if I have 200 hectares. What do you think about that, Mickey, Mitch?
Mm,
Talking about business, of course. In other words, we're talking about reverse engineering.
yeah.
Is this morally acceptable or not? What do you think?
Um, I think that if we see in terms of business, all the companies do because, well, there exists competition, and if they want to highlight, can I say it,
Highlight, yes, yes, yes,
in
highlight.
the market, obviously they need to see what the other brands are doing good, what can they improve, and, and well, yeah, probably in other terms, or in other aspects of the life, is not moral, but I think that in business is something that happens normally.
What are companies socially or morally responsible? I'm sure that you know many. So, which companies are morally uh, or ethically responsible? Morally responsible, Mitch. Do you know any companies that care for the people, that care for the environment, that care for the workers? I'm sure there are many, and I'm sure that you know of, plenty.
Mm. I'm sure that that kind of companies can exist, but actually, I don't. I can give an specific example.
Well, what qualities would make a company responsible and ethically um, ethically worth of imitating or admiring? That company is worth of imitating. It is good to imitate, or
I think
what qualities would make a company responsible and ethically worth of imitating? Let's leave it at responsible. Responsible.
what means in Spanish word of imitating?
Digna de imitar,
Uh,
worth of imitating.
El gancho te los está apuntando, pero en
mm,
el piso, allá en la
the
esquinita.
ones that start
Allá, mira, este
to
es una
make
caja, este para acá.
how can I say desechables,
Listo.
To make disposable,
disposables, biodegradable.
biodegradable.
Okay. The ones who can. Hey, I don't know how these disposables are named, but are the ones with color brown. Can when you left them in the water can turn into fish food or something like that. I hear, but
Really?
uh-huh. Well, my mom told me that.
That is
uh,
impressive.
uh-huh. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I see that a lot of companies in present in current times are using them,
Wow,
and that's
that's
good.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, what do you think? Thank you, Mitch. What do you think, Mickey? What qualities or what, yeah, properties would make a company responsible?
Mm, well, I think that the company that not only cares about the gains of the company, that they focus in other aspects. For example, there are big companies who pollute, yeah,
Pollute the
pollute,
environment?
yeah, pollute the environment a lot, and they don't care about the effects that could bring. And yeah, I think that a company who cares about those kind of aspects, uh, or who care their employees correctly, and I think that that quality is will make a company responsible.
Okay. And now, I think the most difficult question, which I don't think is difficult, except that we need to convince our businessmen. I think I wouldn't say in Mexico. I think in the world
Yeah.
that uh, being ethically responsible is not against or is not in opposition to being profitable. In other words, to be profitable, companies don't need to be irresponsible.
Hmm.
Irresponsible. You can make a lot of money too if you are ethically responsible, and if you care for your people, if you care for the environment. What do you think about that, Mitch Mickey?
Yeah, I think that there must be a balance because I think that the majority, obviously, all the companies just see and care about the profit that they can get,
Yes,
and we need to understand that our life here in the earth is limit, and that our gains and our money, uh, one day we can't use it. We will not use it for the same because we're not gonna be here. So I think that is necessary to have a balance and to care about the world and to care about the people who work with us and be more human.
be more human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very nice and very true. I like your comment very much, also, Mickey. What do you think about this, Mitch? Do you think that to be profitable, can you also be responsible, or only irresponsible companies can make a good profit?
Mm, well, we must care about the world making more human. I think in a cool side, the companies always gonna care first for the game, for the money, because they usually well, even if their intentions are good, and they need a lot of promotions or materials to make their own plans works, and to compensate that they need money, that like donations. Some organizations do that, but it's difficult, but it's possible, and there needs a lot of good management, and it needs the better morally correctly people, which will then we can to debate what is a morally correctly or morally badly uh, thinking. But I think that's other subject.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is truly controversial,
Hmm.
and highly controversial, because the boundaries will be in different places for different people, right? Even within the same culture, within the same, could be within the same family. Maybe for me, something is the boundary. Let's say, what I want to make is a diagram here. Let me make a diagram about what is good, what is bad, and where the boundary is. This boundary is important because it limits your actions, right? So let's make a diagram of what in broad terms, what is good, and this is the boundary, right? To the right is what is good, and to the left is what is bad. Let me delete this first for a second. This is good. This is acceptable in business, and this is not acceptable, right? This is not acceptable. And for different people, the boundary will be in different places. Maybe for you will be here, for Mickey will be here, maybe for me will be here, for another person will be here, for your friends will be here. So the boundaries can vary.
Yeah.
Boundaries, boundaries can vary. And so, how can we establish an agreement if boundaries vary? And it's not an easy question at all, right? So, how can we agree on terms and conditions if boundaries, or the limits of, if boundaries vary? How can we do that?
Mm, it is a difficult question.
It is.
Mm,
Mm,
Well, what do you think, Mitch, Mickey?
Mhm.
If there is a variation in the boundaries, maybe we can create a safe zone. We're not sure about this. For for uh, for Mickey, this is acceptable, right? And this is acceptable, and to the left is not acceptable. And maybe a more liberal person says, "Well, no, for me, this is not acceptable, and this is acceptable." And then you both agree, okay, let's
Mhm.
not touch this zone. This is the forbidden zone, right? So we don't. This is the forbidden zone. We don't do business in this area. We don't talk about this, right? So we protect this area, and then we can only agree. This is a green light. This is go. This is acceptable terms. Acceptable terms. Acceptable. I'm sorry. Terms, and these are unacceptable terms. Unacceptable terms. And what about the between? What in between? Well, we discuss that or we negotiate that. We negotiate our differences. This is for negotiation. For negotiation. What do you think of this idea, Mitch?
mm, okay.
Mm, yeah, well, I think that obviously the boundary is gonna vary because all the people think in a different way. But if you create like safe zone, or how can I say it?
Create a safe zone. That's exactly
Yeah,
the name.
where our boundaries and the boundaries of the other people could could work together. Well, I think that you can get good things of that because well, you see what they don't like, and you share what you like, and well, you can negotiate.
Okay, can you? I lost you for a second for some reason, Mickey. Can you please repeat what you said? You create a safe zone with which idea? With which purpose?
Yeah, you create a safe zone where you can show what you want to get, and the other people show what they want, and you can negotiate and see what is good for both. In few words.
Perfect. I like the comment very much. What do you think about this, Mitch?
Criticize so you can show what you want. You can show what you want to negotiate. Uh, uh, I don't know. Mm, sorry, teacher, my brain is not working for this subject. Ah, okay. Oh no.
I lost Mickey and Mitch. Se me perdieron, se perdió la conexión. Déjame ver. Ya es hora de que acabemos, pero. Mitch, ay, sí, sigue grabando. Sí, Mitch, está contestando Mitch. De repente desaparecí, déjame mi conexión. Aquí están ya de regreso. Mitch is back. Oh, Mitch. Oh, Mitch, you're back. You're back, Mitch.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Maybe I got disconnected.
Yeah, I was about to talk and then disconnected.
Jeez. Okay. And Mickey's out too, right? I don't see him.
Yeah, I think he go to the bathroom right now.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting discussion, anyways. When we're talking about the similarities and the differences in business, is truly, truly interesting. Let me share this again with you and see what your final comments are. What do you think is interesting about this discussion of commerce, reverse engineering, culture, and different practices that for you may be acceptable, for others may be unacceptable, or vice versa. Maybe for you,
Mhm.
you say this is not acceptable for me, and for other people, those practices are acceptable. What do you think about all these elements in this conversation, Mitch?
Well, this conversation can carry a lot of different subjects to uh, science, morality, until money, business, but uh, at least help us to understand how the commerce and laboral campus work in all the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it helps us understand, and it also tells us that we need to be very, very well prepared in many areas, right? If you want to do trade with other countries, with other nations, what you mentioned at the beginning is incredibly important. You need to understand the culture of people. You need to understand the culture of a nation. You need to understand, we need to understand how people think. What you said is very interesting. Remember that you said that maybe they are thinking, oh, those Mexicans, they want to talk about our private lives. They are not respecting our privacy. And we might be thinking, well, these Chinese, they just want to talk business. They don't want to be social. They don't want to socialize, right? And maybe both cultures are okay. right? They want to maintain their privacy, and we want to socialize, and it's valid. So this is the intercultural shock that normally happens when you meet people from other countries, when you meet people from other nations, other places. What do you think about that, Mitch?
Mm, it is. Uh, well, I think between other people from other countries, we used to judge bad, seeing signs the things that we saw or hear the rumors of them. Even them things they could think bad things about of us, but we can understand each other if we convivimos with them.
Exactly, exactly. There must be this convivence, there must be this sharing, time sharing, and customs sharing. We must share our
Mhm,
thoughts, our ideas, and communicate and have these interchanges, these exchanges,
mhm,
exchange our values, exchange our culture, exchange our experience. And that normally happens through trade. When you do trade with countries, with other people, you learn a lot of things about their culture and they learn about yours. So, this understanding, this knowing the culture of other people will help you carry out this trade, this commerce. Okay, Mitch. Well, it was a very good conversation. It's a pity that Mickey had to go, but the conversation, everything is recorded, so we can continue next week, right? I think
mhm.
it's what, Monday or Tuesday? Monday, right?
Well, we talk about it. The school asked me recently a subject in Monday, and we changed the class until Thursday.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
but you said if no, we said that it could be at 4 p.m. or things like that. I don't remember that much. But yeah, there's a change.
There's been a change, right?
Mm.
So I think we said Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday 6 to 7 and Thursday 4:30 to 5:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the change. Okay, I'll resend it and then let's see if Miki and you agree. So let's see. See you. I'll put here. See you. See you next week. Wednesday 6 to 7, Thursday 4:30 to 5:30, and Saturday one normally 1:30 to 2:30. How about that, Mitch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's call the session then. Mitch, thank you very much. Take care and say goodbye to Mickey. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much, teacher. Have a great day. Take care. Thanks
You
for the
too.
class.
Take care. Thank you. Take care.